Does it ever feel like you're doing everything right, but somehow people aren't warming up to you? Something seems to push people away, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships, and you can't quite put your finger on it. Well, the truth is, there might be some hidden habits you're not aware of that are causing this. Today, we will talk about 13 subtle behaviors that might make you less likable. Welcome back to Brain Bitesize. 1. The humble brag. Trap. We all know humility is an attractive quality, but there's a difference between genuine humility and what's known as pseudo-humility. Have you ever made a joke that seemed like you were poking fun at yourself, but deep down you were fishing for compliments? For example, saying, "Ugh, my work is so bad," while secretly hoping someone will tell you how amazing it is. At first, people might play along and show you praise, but after a while they catch on. This behavior can come across as insincere, and over time it gets frustrating. Genuine humility is refreshing, faking it not so much. So it's better to own your accomplishments without downplaying them in hopes of a compliment. 2. The people pleaser problem. We've all met someone who's always trying to make everyone happy, and while it seems nice, there's a downside. If you're too agreeable, constantly saying yes to everything, you may come off as someone with no opinions of your own. People want to connect with individuals who stand for something, not those who agree with everything, just to fit in. Plus, you'll become exhausted and resentful if you're always trying to please others. So it's okay to disagree sometimes and stand your ground. It shows confidence, and that's something people respect. 3. Over-eagerness to fit in. Fitting in feels good, right? We all want to feel accepted. But there's a fine line between fitting in and losing yourself. People can sense if you constantly change your preferences, opinions, or style to match those around you. Being a social chameleon may seem like a good strategy, but it often backfires. Why? Because people value authenticity. They don't want a mirror that reflects their opinions. They want someone who brings their unique perspective. So, while adapting to social situations is great, don't lose sight of who you are. 4. Trying too hard to be unique. On the flip side, there's a trap in trying too hard to be different. You know, people who go out of their way to say, "I'm not like other guys, girls." Embracing your uniqueness is awesome, but it can be off-putting when it becomes a performance. It's one thing to love obscure hobbies or interests, but it's another to use them to put yourself on a pedestal and imply you're better than others because of them. People don't want to be around someone constantly reminding them how special they are. Genuine uniqueness draws people in, but forcing it? Not so much. 5. Perfectionism. Perfection is a myth, yet so many of us chase it. You might think you're only worthy of love or friendship if you look perfect, have the perfect job, or have the perfect relationship. But here's the kicker. People aren't looking for perfect. They're looking for real. Perfectionism can make you come across as distant or even arrogant. It can also put unnecessary pressure on you and your relationships. So instead of focusing on being flawless, focus on being authentic. People appreciate vulnerability and the willingness to grow far more than a perfect facade. 6. A competitive mindset. Do you find yourself constantly comparing your life to others? Maybe your friends are getting married, buying houses, or landing dream jobs, and you feel you're falling behind. It's easy to slip into a zero-sum game mindset, where someone else's success feels like your failure. But here's the thing. Life isn't a competition. When you're always trying to outdo others or feel envious of their achievements, it can create tension in your relationships. People are drawn to those who celebrate others' successes and offer support, not those who see life as a race to be won. So instead of competing, focus on lifting others. It's far more attractive and likable. 7. Interrupting or talking over others. Do you ever find yourself cutting people off mid-sentence or finishing their thoughts for them? While you might think you're helping or just enthusiastic, it can be disrespectful. Interrupting someone can make them feel like their thoughts aren't important or that you're not truly listening. Good communication is about listening just as much as talking. So, next time you're in a conversation, try pausing and ensuring the other person is finished before jumping in. 8. Oversharing personal information too soon. Being open and vulnerable is important for building close relationships, but there's a time and place for everything. Sharing very personal details or diving deep into emotional topics too early in a relationship can overwhelm people. It may come across as emotionally needy or make the other person uncomfortable. Take your time and allow relationships to evolve naturally. Trust and openness will come, but you don't need to rush the process. Map 9. Constantly complaining or being negative. We all have bad days and need to vent, but always pointing out what's wrong or focusing on the negative can drain the energy from a conversation. Over time, people may start to avoid you because they associate your presence with negativity. Instead of dwelling on problems, try shifting the focus to solutions or positive aspects of the situation. People are naturally drawn to those who can uplift them, not those who bring them down. 10. Being chronically late. Whether it's meeting a friend for coffee or hopping on a Zoom call, consistently being late sends the message that you don't value the other person's time. While things happen that are out of your control, making it a habit shows a lack of consideration for others. Being punctual is a simple way to show respect and reliability and can make a big difference in how people perceive you. 11. Being a conversation dominator. Do you often find yourself talking more than listening in conversations? While sharing your thoughts is great, dominating the conversation can make others feel sidelined. People might feel frustrated or unappreciated if you're not giving others a chance to speak or constantly steering the topic back to yourself. Try to balance the conversation by asking questions and showing genuine interest in what others say. 12. Not respecting boundaries. Everyone has their limits when it comes to personal space, privacy, or emotional comfort zones. You can quickly become less likable if you're constantly pushing past those limits, whether by being overly touchy, prying into personal matters, or not giving someone space when they need it. Pay attention to people's cues and respect their boundaries. Being considerate in this way shows emotional intelligence and maturity, which makes you more likable. 13. Being too sarcastic or cynical sarcasm can be funny in moderation, but if it's your go-to mode of communication, it might start to wear on people. Constant sarcasm or cynicism can make you seem insincere or detached, and it's often a defense mechanism that keeps others at arm's length. If people feel like they can't have a serious conversation with you, or that you don't take anything to heart, they may pull away. A little humor is great, but balancing it with sincerity helps create deeper connections. If you've recognized any of these habits in yourself, don't stress. The good news is that awareness is the first step toward change. These behaviors are common, and with a bit of self-reflection, you can shift them to create deeper, more meaningful connections with the people around you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might find it helpful. And before you go, check out our next video. 5 signs you have a strong personality. You might just recognize some powerful traits in yourself. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.